Most people go to dinner to celebrate. My family went to dinner to ignore me. Imagine sitting in your favorite Italian restaurant, clinking glasses of expensive Chianti, and laughing about your sister's latest Instagram post. You're so busy being perfect that you don't even notice the television mounted right above your head. Then, the news anchor's voice cuts through the chatter. A name is announced. My name. And as the pointless award, they mocked me for flashes across the screen in front of a national audience. The wine in my sister's glass stays frozen halfway to her lips. In that exact second, their world of pretend collapsed. If you've ever been the extra in your own family's movie, if you've ever been told your passion was just a cute hobby, then this story is for you, because the best kind of revenge isn't a shout. It's a silent, undeniable success that they are forced to watch while the rest of the world applauds. My name is Haley Turner. Growing up in Portland, Oregon, I learned a very specific skill early on: how to be invisible. In the Turner household, there was a solar system, and my sister Danielle was the sun. My parents, Robert and Elaine, were the planets orbiting her, making sure her light never dimmed. I was just space dust. Danielle was 5 years older, a whirlwind of blonde hair, practiced smiles, and a desperate need for a stage. When she didn't make the cheer squad, we had a family crisis meeting. When she got a job at a boutique, we had a gala dinner. But when I won my first cooking contest at 12, my mom looked up from Danielle's social media feed for exactly 3 seconds. "That's nice, honey. Did you clean the flour off the counter?" I didn't mind the silence at first. In fact, the kitchen became my sanctuary. While Danielle was out chasing likes, I was chasing the perfect rise in a sourdough loaf. I disappeared into the steam of boiling pots and the rhythmic sound of a chef's knife against wood. By 16, I was selling banana bread at the local farmer's market. Strangers would look me in the eye and say, "This is the best thing I've ever tasted." For 4 hours every Saturday, I existed. I was someone. Then I'd go home and my father would sigh at the mess I'd made. "Haley, why can't you focus on a real career? Something corporate like Danielle's marketing plans?" The sting of being misunderstood is a quiet one. It doesn't break you all at once, it just wears you down like water on stone. I realized then that if I stayed in Portland, I'd always be the girl who played with food. Leaving for New York wasn't a choice. It was a survival tactic. My parents treated my acceptance into a top-tier culinary program like I was going to a summer camp. "Make sure you have a backup plan," my dad said at the airport. He didn't even put his phone down. New York didn't care about my sister's Instagram or my parents' indifference. New York just wanted to break me. I spent 18 hours a day on my feet. I learned what it felt like to have a French chef scream an inch from your ear because your mirepoix wasn't perfectly cubed. I burned my forearms so many times they looked like a map of a war zone. I cried in the walk-in freezer more times than I can count. But then, I met Chef Anthony Reyes. Anthony was a legend, a man who could tell if a sauce was off by the way it bubbled. One night, after a brutal double shift, he watched me plating a simple dish of roasted carrots. I'd spent weeks perfecting a herb-infused yogurt sauce, something light, something that tasted like home, but better. He took a bite. He stayed silent for a full minute. "You have a point of view, Haley," he said. "Most cooks are just machines. You tell a story. Don't let anyone tell you to change the ending." Those 5 words were the first time I felt seen in 20 years. While I was grinding in Manhattan, Danielle's glamorous life was starting to show cracks. She was hopping from one boutique job to another, always blaming toxic bosses or jealous coworkers. My parents were still funding her life, still nodding along to her excuses. I started a small side project called Turner Kitchen, and I'd filmed 30-second clips of me making healthy comfort food in my cramped apartment. No filters, no fake smiles, just good food. The first video to hit 1 million views was my salad dressing, a simple lemon tahini garlic blend. People went crazy. "Where can we buy this? This changed my life." I called my mom to tell her a local grocery chain wanted to stock 50 cases. "That's cute, Haley. Oh, hold on. Danielle just got invited to a brand launch. She's so stressed about what to wear. Can I call you back?" Click. I didn't get angry. I just went back to work. By the time I was 25, Turner Kitchen wasn't a side hustle. It was a brand. I was in meetings with distributors during the day and running Anthony's Kitchen at night. Then the email came. The James Beard Foundation, the Oscars of the food world. I had been nominated for Rising Star Chef of the Year. The ceremony was going to be in Los Angeles, a red carpet, a national broadcast, everything my sister ever dreamed of, but I had actually earned. I opened the family group chat. My heart was pounding. This was it. The moment they'd finally understand. Hey everyone, huge news. I'm nominated for a James Beard Award. The ceremony is next week in LA and it's being broadcast live on TV. I'd really love it if you could be there, or at least watch it together. I watched the typing bubbles. Danielle. Haley, we don't have time for your pointless award. We're actually going to dinner that night at La Trateria Verde. We made the reservation weeks ago. Mom. Don't blame us, honey. You know how hard it is to get a table there. One will celebrate with you some other time. Dad. Liked Danielle's message. I stared at that little blue thumb icon. A like. They weren't just saying no, they were saying my life's work wasn't worth a pasta dinner. I took a deep breath. I didn't beg. I didn't explain that a James Beard Award is the highest honor a chef can receive. I didn't tell them that I was the youngest nominee in my category. That's fine, I typed. Have a nice dinner. The Beverly Hilton was a sea of black ties and silk dresses. The air smelled like success and expensive champagne. As I stood backstage, I looked at my phone one last time. Danielle had posted a boomerang of their cocktails. Family dinner. #living our best life. I put the phone in my clutch and stepped onto the stage. 3,000 miles away at La Trateria Verde in Portland, the atmosphere was loud. My parents were complaining about the breadsticks. Danielle was busy editing a photo of her appetizer. Above the bar, the television was tuned to the Food Network. The presenter at the Hilton stepped to the mic. And now, for the Rising Star Chef of the Year. In the restaurant, the owner, who knew me from the farmer's market years ago, recognized my face on the screen. He grabbed the remote and turned the volume up, way up. Our winner tonight started with a folding table in Portland and is now revolutionizing the way America eats. The award goes to Haley Turner. The entire restaurant went silent. My father's fork stopped halfway to his mouth. My mother's eyes went wide as she saw her daughter, the one she called cute, standing on a stage in a designer gown, accepting a trophy that looked like gold. Danielle's face went pale, because at that exact moment, a table of teenagers nearby whispered loud enough for her to hear, "Wait, isn't that the girl who makes that viral dressing? And isn't she her sister, the one who just posted a video making fun of her?" By the time I reached my hotel suite, the internet had already done its work. A diner at La Trateria had filmed my family's reaction. The video was titled, "The Moment This Family Realized They Skipped Their Daughter's James Beard Win for a Bowl of Pasta." It had 2 million views in 3 hours. Then, someone dug up an old video of Danielle, a video where she mocked my salad dressing hobby and told her followers that I'd never make it in the real world. The comments were a bloodbath. At Foodie Queen, "Imagine being this jealous of your own sister. Red flag." At Chef Life, "She skipped the James Beard for pasta? That's the ultimate fail." At Justice for Haley, "Look at their faces. They look so embarrassed. Good." My phone was melting. Mom. "Haley, why didn't you tell us it was this big? We're so proud." Dad. "The whole restaurant was cheering for you. We told everyone you were our daughter." I didn't reply. The next morning, Danielle was waiting in the lobby. She looked like she hadn't slept. No makeup, no influencer smile. "Haley," she whispered, "I got fired. The boutique. They said my brand is now toxic. People are leaving 1-star reviews on their page because of me." She looked at me, eyes red. "I need you to tell them it was a joke. I need you to help me get a job at Turner Kitchen. You're famous now. You can fix this." I looked at my sister. For the first time in my life, I didn't see a sun. I saw a small, flickering candle struggling in the wind. "Danielle," I said. For 20 years, I was your background noise. I'm not going to be your PR agent now. You called my work pointless. Now you're realizing that the world agrees with me, not you. So you're just going to leave me with nothing? She cried. No, I said, turning toward the door. I'm going to let you do what you told me to do for years. I'm going to let you find a real career on your own. Today, Turner Kitchen has its own flagship restaurant in LA. We don't just sell sauce. We sell a place for people who were told their dreams were hobbies. My parents text me every day. I answer every third one. We're normal now, but the glass is cracked. They know I don't need them to believe in me anymore. And that is a powerful, quiet kind of freedom. If you're listening to this and you feel invisible, stay in your kitchen. Keep writing, keep coding, keep building. The people who ignore you today will be the ones claiming they always knew you'd make it tomorrow. Don't wait for their permission to be great. By the time they realize your value, you'll be too busy winning to notice they're even in the room. I'm Haley Turner, and this was the meal they'll never forget. If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. Don't let your pointless dreams die just because someone else can't see the vision. Comment below with one thing you're working on that people said was just a hobby. Let's support each other.